Chapter 1. Fire's Fury. Fire seems to find me, often before the smoke. It creeps in like bad news searching for company. Quiet, certain, unavoidable. Maybe that's prejudice talking. Maybe it isn't fire I notice first. This time, at least, it had an honest excuse. Cuttleridge. Always smoky. Always half-seen. Give it rain and these docklands became a recipe for rot and fumes. Tar boiling in barrels, lamps guttering, fish stink ground into the wood. That was the nature of the beast. And in this sunless, hazy morning, the beast was first awake. Dressed in my usual attire, a leather-hooded jacket, pants, boots, blades secreted in my pockets, and a gun strapped tight, I walked the cobbled pathways of the East River Walk, the part of the twine that opens up like offal, spilling its contents into the open sea. The lamps overhead spread out like an accountant's conscience. Regular, minimal, and just enough to claim they tried. Below, the water carried scraps of candle wax and onion peels, glazed over with a tired sheen that refused to break. Barges moved in the distance, their lanterns pulsing like bruises. The way people lowered their eyes when they crossed a secret that made you think. Somewhere a furnace door opened. Heat rolled out in one heavy exhale. "Sink line over air," someone shouted. "Get the bastard out. Make it quick, you filthy gutter rat. For the boat burns the pier." Men rushed the failing ferry with rope and curses, bodies leaning into the job like it had teeth. I watched, hands slack at my sides, and felt the first symptom before the memory arrived. I closed my eyes. First comes fire, then faces, then screaming, then death. My body held itself still while the shelf creaked open. That fucking memory, if you can call it that, had a way of picking a day to show up. 8 years old, hiding in the swamps, mud cold enough to numb the ankles. I remember my breath trapped behind exposed teeth, harsh and metallic, as if I'd been running. I cursed. Not now. Fought to pull my focus back to the dockside. Here in Nervinia, stopping meant something to anyone watching. And depending on who watched, it defined the outcome. Even in broad daylight. But the world slipped sideways, so I cut sharp into a side street and sat on a crate, away from the main walk. Good. No one here. I let the back of my head thud against brick. Fire. I felt its tongues lick at me. My sister's hands, lifeless in my palm. Her blue eyes flashed into view. A face leaned close, intense. A voice harsh but low enough not to carry. "Hurry, little one. If the fire don't kill you, they will." Jareth. Had to be there. Had to save me. A reason I debated for years to come. Why me? Why not my sister? Why did I survive? "Sorry, buddy. You got a light." My hand went for the dagger strapped tight against my left ribs. My eyes snapped to the source. A street bum, hair matted, teeth rotten, stood a few paces off, holding a used cigarette like it still had something to give. "No," I said. "Careful who you sneak up on next time." He nodded and ambled away, deciding this conversation might end in a way he wouldn't enjoy. I stood, merged back into the slipstream, and kept walking. The civic quarter rose ahead. Stone facades, narrow windows, ironwork that looked decorative until you noticed how easily it could trap a body. My fingers found the folded paper inside my coat and smoothed it open. Name, Brineglass Apothecary, run by Mira Fenlock, dockside alchemist. Address, 12 Hookers Passage, Cuttleridge, East Dock Central. A narrow cut between the fish markets and the taverns, easy to miss unless you're looking for the hanging glass buoy in the window. Looks like this is the place. I climbed the steps into a dark arcade, found the small door marked 12 on the right, and went in. The bell rang, a fraction too late. Either deliberate, or a quirk. Inside, it reeked of burnt herbs, iodine, and sulfur. Shelves and jars filled and tagged. Sure, it could have been more organized, more secure, but the owner didn't seem to care. Hecka's tears simmered on a burner, as if it were something legal. A figure hunched beyond the bench, a magnifier strapped on, studying a small dish where something dark moved in its own ooze. "Hi, I'm Kitian Riverstone," I said. A woman, short, mid-50s, looked up. Her left eye bulged twice its size behind the magnifier. "Can I help you?" she asked. A fair question in a place like Cuttleridge. "I heard you can pluck out memories," I said, slipping into street slur out of habit. "Bad dreams. That sort of thing." She swiveled, pushed the magnifier up, and peeled off her gloves, then grinned with sudden recognition. "Soraya must have sent you." She said it like code. Only the privy got that kind of welcome. I could see why. 3 questers of Nervinia needed something removed. The city wasn't short on inflicted trauma. I've had some success with this, she added. Then she paused and shuffled through the shelves. She held up a vial of black, viscous mix, lips twisting with discontent. Might hurt a bit, though. Whatever you cough up, put it in a box and bury it in the ground. Don't let it breed. I don't plan to, I said. Who in hell wanted to seed bad memories? Maybe there was a market for it. Me. I'd rather not contaminate the world with my fury. The river had already been fed on blood, ash, and bone, past and present. Me adding to it was a drop off the iceberg. Bad thought. That'll be 25 tokens, she said, wrapping the vial in paper and sliding it into a bag. I counted out the coins and took it, waiting for more instruction. That all? Her eyes flicked up. Drink it before you sleep. Tie yourself to a bed. Or chains. Kinky, I said. She blushed. Not my type. I thanked her and left. Back out into the street. For a moment, I felt the weight of it in my pocket and wondered if this would finally be the solution. This couldn't go on, especially not during a mission. If I got sloppy, I'd die or worse, get caught. Prison life wasn't for me. I'd probably burn it down and end up in a silver tanker somewhere under the ocean. Another bad thought.